sickle cell patient that the parents will come and be crying. He's addicted to it, but he needs it to treat himself, and the boy is not addicted. So the boy don't even wait for he goes to buy for himself.
And most times, the beginning, most times the parents endorse it, because most of the sickle cell children have a way of blackmailing the parents to feel like, now you cause them. Why you go marry my father to bomb me?
Yes,
so these parents most times live with that guilt when they see the children in pain and feel like, oh, why? If I knew, I would. So out of that guilt, they want to do everything to make the child comfortable, and because they see that pentazocine as na for chemists that they buy them. So the child goes to buy it every time as my medicine for crisis.
I've treated a nurse who got addicted to this drug. A nurse. Yeah,
even doctors.
A nurse. What happened was that I went to a church to talk about drugs, and her son was there. And that day I went to talk about symptoms. How do you know that somebody's on drugs? You know, those are some of the things we have, you know, since we are trying to educate, you understand? But then, you know, and then the son, after I finished, called the pastor and told his pastor that all those things that man was saying, I see all of them in my mom. Yeah, I see all of them in my mom, you know. And then call his mom to see me. So we got talking. At the end of the day, she confessed. And I took her to a rehab, a Christian rehab,
You know, Jose Material, let me tell a story, please. Permit me. When I first joined the podcast, we would come and, we would talk for long hours. I wasn't used to talking for long hours. And when I get home, I would have a headache. And I would take paracetamol. And I would sleep. After a while, the paracetamol was no longer working for me.
The word for it, he said it's called tolerance.
Yeah. So
when you take a drug for a while, your body will not tolerate it. You don't feel it again.
The paracetamol stopped
so you
working
want something else.
for me. And then my friend came back from the US and he said he uses Tylenol.
Tylenol is strong.
It's very good for him. I said, okay, give me Tylenol. Very sharp. So whenever I come to the podcast and I go home, I would have a headache and then I would take Tylenol. I would just feel so good. I will now shower. I will sleep. At some point, I was no longer, and this is what I wanted to share with you people. I was no longer now waiting to feel the headache. So I have Tylenol in my bag. So you didn't know this was a material. So anytime I get home, I'm taking the Tylenol and I'm taking it. Whether I'm having a headache or not. So I'm drinking it because I'm expecting the headache. Okay. Now I could not deal without it. So one day my sister walked into my room and said, isn't it, that Tylenol that you just bought is always finished. It feels like Tylenol is now your podcast medicine. Once you just come back, every Thursday medicine, you're taking it. She said, give it to me today. You are not taking it. Drink water and sleep. I drank water that day. And I woke up the next morning. That was how I stopped taking Tylenol every Thursday.
So now, what is drug addiction? What happened is that you form a habit out of taking that Tylenol.
Exactly.
Right? And that's what drug addiction is, you forming a habit out of something.
You just came to me because most times what we talk about is just cocaine.
Yes.
I mean, it can happen with paracetamol.
See, there's one
coffee.
There's this myth that I want to clear out there. There's this orientation the society have that if you're a drug addict or you're using drugs, you're irresponsible, you're a tout and all that. It means you don't have proper home training or you're morally deficient. That is not correct. Because addiction is not a respecter of religion. Status, orientation, background, rich, poor. It does not respect anyone.
Just need to touch your
any body. Loophole can put you for your lucky part is you had a sister that was sensitive enough to observe. So imagine she did not come in. By now, what will not be happening?
And
funny enough, do you know the most dangerous part is she had legit reasons.
Let me tell you a story. I was sitting in my office one day, and MD, one of these phone people, I don't want to mention which one, phone lines, drove, the driver brought her to my office, a woman, and she entered. She said, I saw your rehab address online, and I started tracing it. I went somewhere, and I said, so what's happening? She sat down. He said, it's codeine. I said, your son? He said, not my son, me. I said, what happened? He said, I'm an MD, my work. Every time I finish, I get tired and all that, and then I can't sleep and all that. So my friend told me I should take a spoon of codeine. So I started with a spoon. You see, after a while, a spoon could not do. I graduated to 2 spoons. And then before you know it, a bottle a day. You see, right now, even if I take 3 bottles, which is what I'm taking now, the sleep will not come, whatever. That's tolerance. Her body got used. Now, the first girl I treated for codeine was 2011. She was from Babcock. And she was her father's favorite child. So her father had passed on. I'm just trying to share with you that many things can just make you get into drugs. When somebody dies, people feel pain, right? Pain of losing somebody. So this girl lost her father. She went home for the burial, came back to school, private hostel, and then she couldn't sleep. Because she says she tried to sleep, she just see her father. So her friend, a girl too, who was sleeping beside her, now said, why are you not sleeping? He said, I don't know, I'm just worried about my father. The girl said, I will give you something, you sleep. Gave her a spoonful of codeine. She slept fine. The next day, she was the one that asked in the night. The 3rd day, she asked. The 4th day, the lady said, let me show you where you buy it. And that was it.
That is always the trick. The person they introduce you most times go on and free.
I was also in the church. I finished speaking about symptoms and all that when her sister husband now said, come, what this man is saying, I think that's what is happening to your sister. So they brought her to me and her case was handled. All right? However, I am a faith-based therapist because there are some places when they are treating you for drug, they start to give you injections and all that. And most of the time, some of the treatment you get, they will not help you. You only end up stopping street drugs and becoming addicted to pharmaceutical drugs because they now place you on prescription, like buy this every month and come and refill, and that's not it. So in faith-based, the first thing is that we deal with the spiritual, and then we use teachings, our lectures. We have lectures, we have lecturers. Our lectures are based on spiritual and motivational. Because a drug addict's mind is bastardized.
True.
The way a drug addict thinks about money is not the way a normal person. The way a drug addict thinks about help is not the same person. A drug addict has a mindset of, what will I call it again? What's the name of this thing? Entitlement mentality. Whether you like it or not, you must help me. You marry for me, you build house for me, you do everything.
Everybody owes you.
Yes, you understand. Everybody owe me something. So use the motivational speaking to help them rebuild their mind, and books and all that will help them and all that, while we have taken care of the spirit. And as a drug addict, there are many other things you have done. You heard him say he has gone to Babalawo. There are many things you have gone to involve yourself with the spiritual. So those things need to be dealt with. That's why most people relapse. You have not dealt with some things. When you walk into a Babalawo's house, sir, when you are leaving, you are not coming out ordinarily. A demon has entered you. Believe it or not. You are going to have to fight with that for the rest of your life unless it is dealt with.
Sorry to interrupt you. Pertaining to what you just said now, it just occurred to me. Because there was an instant